and revolution. The difference between evolution and revolution is that evolution is in a gradual process where or gradual change, whereas revolution is a sudden change. Okay, so socialist followers always aimed at a gradual change, while the followers of the communist thoughts, they always wanted a sudden change. So these are the two variants of non-market economy. And another difference between these two are, so in socialism, the state had ownership control only on the natural resources. Okay, in socialism, the state or the government controlled only natural resources, whereas in communism, the state had ownership control over labor also. So not only the natural resources, also the labor also was controlled by the government under communism. So that is the difference between socialism and communism. And this non-market economy or socialism and communism is also known by other names like state economy, command economy, centrally planned economy, etc. So this system of non-market economy is based on the certain beliefs or certain ideas put forward by Karl Marx. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the ideas or beliefs put forward by Karl Marx? Resources of a country should be used for the welfare of all. So unlike the free market economy, here so the non-market economy aims at welfare for all the people. Resources of a country should be used for the welfare of all. Resources are best used only when they are under the ownership of the state. Okay, the resources which are scarce can be used in its best manner only if it is owned by the state. Then no property rights to be given to individuals, as it may promote exploitation of laborers and leads to glaring economic inequality. Unlike free market economy, under non-market economy, the property rights should not be given to individuals. No property rights should be given to individuals. Why? Because it may lead to the exploitation of laborers. When when individuals, private parties get property rights, they may exploit the laborers, and it leads to glaring inequality in the economy. Then absence of interaction of the market forces of demand and supply. There is no free intercourse of demand and supply forces. Okay, there is no free interaction of market forces of demand and supply. Though there may be some sort of what is that interaction of demand and supply, still ultimately there will be a central planned economy or central planning authority, which is the government, which controls all the activities. Then there is no competition. Okay, because all the factors are owned by the government, and there is no what is that Mm, okay, motive or private motive, profit motive by the private parties. So there is no competition. People to play economic role according to their ability, and in return get the facilities according to their needs. So these two, according to their ability and according to their needs, are the two great important notions used under communism and socialism. People to play economic role according to their ability. Each person should do the economic activities according to their ability. What am I able to do? I should do that work only. If I am able to deliver a class in economics, okay, I am supposed to do that work only. If I am good in economics, it doesn't mean that I am good in mathematics also. Okay, or that I am good in chemistry or engineering, etc. So if I am not well versed in delivering a class on what is that mathematics or engineering, etc., I am not supposed to deliver that class. Okay, so each people should play their economic role according to their ability. I am an economics professor. and I can deliver the class in economics only. I cannot, what is that, diagnose a patient and suggest a medicine for that patient. Okay, because I am not a doctor. So each person should play their economic role according to their ability, and in return, they should get the facilities according to their needs. Okay, and each person should perform his functions according to their ability, and each person should get in return according to their needs only, not more than that. Okay, that is what the general idea of non-market economy states. We should not pay a person not more than that what he requires. The decisions on what to produce, how to produce, and how to supply them to people are taken by the state itself. All these economic problems of what to produce, how much to produce, and how to distribute them, all these problems are solved by the state or the government. Then this system was first tried in the ex-USSR in 1919. From there, it spread across the world, whole Eastern Europe, finally getting its purest form in the communist China. Is that clear? These features of non-market economy. Is that clear to you? The features of socialism and communism?
Yes, sir.
No doubts. Now, let us see what are the drawbacks of this system. What are the drawbacks of non-market economy or socialism and communism? This system did not aim at creating capital or wealth, which created a scarcity of investable capital. Okay, since there is no profit motive, and since that this because all the factors are controlled by the government, there was no motive on the part of the private parties to invest more and to make profit. And because of that, they were not at all willing to create capital or wealth. And there was no investable capital also, because private parties are not encouraged to make investments. It is the government which makes investment activities. Okay, the state decided the prioritization of resources, which led to the denial of optimum use of resources. The government will give priority to each, during each period the government will give priority to resources. So there was no optimum use of resources. Sometimes the government may give priority to some resources, and when government gives priority to that resources, the government will be using more and more of that resources. And because of that, there was no optimum use. When the resources are used more and more, what happens, the resources will get depleted. In the absence of property rights, there was no motivation to work hard, leading to absence of innovation. This led to the process of internal decay. There was no property rights. Okay, there was no property right means the private parties were not encouraged to have their own mm, properties, and because of that, there was no motivation to work hard. The people were not having any what is that, any kind of motivation. They were not at all motivated to work hard, and it led to the absence of innovation. What is innovation? What is innovation?
New ideas.
What is that?
New ideas.
Okay, bringing about new ideas. Bringing about new ideas. Innovation means bringing about new ideas. So since the innovation, actually, innovation leads to profit. Innovation leads to profit. That is theory of profit by Joseph A. Schumpeter, and that is innovation theory of profit, which is put forward by Joseph A. Schumpeter. Joseph A. Schumpeter says that in a dynamic economy means a changing economy. In a dynamic economy, there will always be innovation, and there will always be profit also. So innovation leads to profit, and innovation means creating or bringing about new ideas. So there was no innovation in the non-market economy, in the socialist economy or capitalist economy. There was no innovation. Why? Because there was no property rights. There was no property rights. No individual had the motive, or they were not allowed to amass wealth, to make wealth, or not to make any property. They were not allowed to make any property. And because of the absence of such property rights, the people were not motivated to work hard, and there was no innovation also. This led to internal decay. Internal decay means the decaying of this system. Being non-democratic in nature, liberty and freedom were totally absent. Though the non-market economy aimed at avoidance of exploitation of laborers by capitalists, the state itself became the agent of exploitation. So under capitalist economy, under this non-market economy, socialist or communist economy, it is said that the government will be the guiding force. Okay, there will be no private capitalists. Almost all the economic activities will be guided and controlled by the government. So what is that? The main idea behind the introduction of this system was to avoid the exploitation of laborers by the capitalists. Okay, but since this system was non-democratic in nature, though there is the government interference, it does not necessarily mean that it is what is that? Not it is democratic. It can be non-democratic also. So when the socialist or communist system becomes a non-democratic in nature, the freedom of the people were hampered, and they were also exploited by the government. So the non-market economy evolved as a reaction against the capitalist economy in order to avoid the exploitation of the laborers by the capitalist. But under non-market economy, sometimes the government itself becomes the agent of exploitation. That means the government itself exploits the laborers. These economies faced a process of internal decay since early 1970s. Way back in the 1950s, the Polish philosopher Oscar Lange advised these economies to adopt market socialism, which was rejected by both ex-USSR and China. However, by mid-1980s, these state economies moved to modify their system. By late 1980s, the ex-USSR announced the policies of perestroika, or restructuring, and glasnost, or openness, switching over to mixed economy with fundamental traits of market economy. By mid-1980s, China announced the open door policy, adopting mixed economy with fundamental traits of market economy. The two major economic systems, market economy and non-market economy, were contrasting each other, but started to move closer by borrowing traits from each other, which led to the evolution of mixed economy. This event has been termed as the end of ideology, as the ideological divide between these economic systems was bridged now. This ended the long existed Cold War, which was the result of the ideological difference. Okay, so these economies faced a process of internal decay since early 1970s. Okay, we have discussed about the internal decay in the previous slide because of the lack of innovation. Because of the lack of innovation, there was the internal decay among these economies, and this internal decay started in early 1970s. And before that, in 1950s itself, the Polish philosopher means a philosopher from Poland, Oscar Lange, advised these economists to adopt market socialism, which was rejected by both ex-USSR and China. So this non-market economy of socialism and communism proved that it had internal decay in itself. And because of that, to improve this situation of the non-market economy, Oscar Lange suggested these economies to adopt market socialism, where the features of market economy also can be included. But this suggestion made by Oscar Lange was declined by USSR and China. But by the mid of 1980s, these state economies moved to modify their system. Though in 1950s, the USSR and the Chinese economy rejected or declined the suggestions made by Oscar Lange. But however, after 1980s, these two economies started to make some modifications in their economic system. By late 1980s, the ex-USSR announced the policies of perestroika and glasnost, switching over to mixed economy with fundamental traits of market economy. Okay, so USSR and China were the major non-market economies at that time. So by the late 1980s, the ex-USSR announced policies like perestroika. What is perestroika? Restructuring. That means restructuring the economy. And the glasnost. Glasnost means openness, that the economy became more open to the rest of the world, switching over to mixed economy with fundamental traits of market economy. So though this was a non-market economy, USSR was a non-market economy, they were moving towards mixed economy with more and more traits of market economy. That is the case of USSR. And by mid 1980s, China also followed the same policy of open door policy, where China adopted a mixed economy with fundamental traits of market economy. So these two non-market economies were ready to what is that? Include the traits of market economy also in their economic system. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. The two major economic systems, market economy and the non-market economy, were contrasting each other, but started to move closer by borrowing traits from each other, which led to the evolution of mixed economy. So when we discuss in detail about the features of market economy and non-market economy, we get an idea that these two ideologies or these two economic systems cannot be brought together. These two have conflicting or contrasting ideologies, and these two cannot be brought together. But what we see in the real world is these two these two economic systems are coming closer and closer and becoming more and more towards a mixed economy, where both the market economy are borrowing the traits of non-market economy, and the non-market economy borrowing the traits of market economy. And because of this borrowings from the other type of market economy, these two blocks are moving closer and closer to the mixed economic system. This event has been termed as the end of ideology, as the ideological divide between these two economic systems was bridged now. Okay, which event? The coming of market economy and non-market economy together, uh, moving closer and closer. This event of moving closer and closer of the market economy and non-market economy is termed as the end of an ideology. That is, the ideology of market economy and non-market economy came to an end, and this resulted in the end of Cold War between the ideologies of two different blocks of countries. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Mixed economy. No, mixed economy. So far, we have discussed about market economy and non-market economy, and we said that it is not. We saw that, or we thought that this, not we, all the major economists were of the opinion that these two systems could not be brought together. But what we see in the real world is a system of mixed economy, where the market economy has moved closer and closer to the non-market economy, and the non-market economy has also moved closer and closer to the market economy. which led to the development of a new type of economic system, which we can call as mixed economy. Now, what is mixed economy? This system was actually in practice since the late 1930s when the market economy started adopting policies of non-market economies. The first country to announce adopting this system was France, which announced the adoption of national planning in 1944-45. Okay, so even in 1930s itself, this system of mixed economy was prevalent in most of the countries when market economies started adopting policies of non-market economies. And the first country to announce the adoption of a non-market, mixed economic system was France, when it announced that they are starting a national planning in the year 1944-45. The system got further strengthened when the non-market economies started modifying themselves in mid 1980s. As per the suggestions of Oscar Lange, non-market economies also started to make changes in their approach or in their economic systems in the mid 1980s, and which led to the strengthening of mixed economic system. It was with the reports of the World Bank that the world agreed upon the best model of the economic system. World Bank, which was an ardent advocate of free market economy, accepted the need of state intervention in the market economy. World Bank also concluded that neither market economy nor non-market economy are free from flaws, and therefore the best economic system can be a mixture of both. But the mix of the state and the market in any country has to be decided by its socio-economic needs of the time. Okay, so when the countries of the world have started to move towards mixed economy from either the market system or the non-market economic system, they are moving closer and closer together and moving towards a new economic system called as the mixed economy. And this was mainly adopted by or accepted by the countries of the world on the basis of the suggestion of the World Bank or on the basis of the reports of the World Bank. Now, what were the reports or suggestions of the World Bank? World Bank, which was an ardent advocate of free market economy, accept the need for state intervention in a market economy. Earlier, World Bank was favoring free market economy. Okay, not a non-market economy. They were suggesting, or they were what is that, advocating the free market economy only. Okay, but the World Bank, after such a long discussions and all that, they realized that a free market economy is not able to bring about economic growth. So there should be state intervention also in a market economy, which has led to the merge of market economy and non-market economy, leading to the formation of a mixed economy. World Bank also concluded that neither market economy nor non-market economy are free from flaws, and therefore the best economic system can be a mixture of both. But the mix of the state and the market in any country has to be decided by its socio-economic needs of the time. So the World Bank also suggested that neither the market economy nor the non-market economy is pure. Each of the economic system, either it be the market economic system or it be the non-market economic system, there were many disadvantages, many flaws, etc. And therefore, the best economic system, according to the World Bank, was a mixture of both these two. Okay, this the mixture of the market system and the non-market system can be decided upon by the countries based on its socio-economic needs of the time. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, what are the characteristics of mixed economy? Both state and private sector have economic roles. Can you give an example of mixed economy?
India.
India? Yes, very good. So both state and private sector have economic roles. Okay, though we say India is an example of mixed economy, in the modern world, no country is having what is that? A free market economy or a market economy, non-market economy or market economy. Every country have a mixture of these two. Okay, we can see the features of capitalism in a socialist economy. Together with that, we can see the features of socialism in a capitalist economy. So almost all the countries of the world in the modern period is a mixed economy. It's not only India, though we can say India is a an example of market economy. There are several other countries also which have the combination of these two systems. Okay. So what are the features of or characteristics of mixed economy? First one is that both the private sector and the state sector have economic roles. Secondly, private sector to play those roles where invisible hand can work properly, but the state is not prohibited from playing this role. Okay, we have seen what invisible hand means. Invisible hand means the motive that drives the people to make investments. Okay, this is known as invisible hand. So where the invisible hand can work properly in that sector, private sector can, in that area, private sector can play the role very well. But the state or the government can also play this role of invisible hand of making investment. Those roles which private sector will not be motivated to play due to the absence of profit element should be taken better care by the state. Okay, in some areas, the private sector will be reluctant. Means they are showing some sort of setback in investing some areas, like areas which are not at all profitable. Okay, for example, providing street lights, providing street taps, etc. These are all general utility services which are not at all profitable to a private firm. And the private firm will not be, or private agents, private sector will not be motivated to invest in these areas since they are not at all profit driven. And in that areas, it is suggested that the government should take care of these areas. The economic roles played either by the state or the private sector may not remain fixed for all the times to come and may get modified as per the needs of the time. That means the roles played by there are different economic roles to be played by the government as well as the private sector, but the economic roles of these two sectors are not fixed. It may change with the passage of time and as per the requirements of the time also. Okay, that means the duties or the functions or the areas where the government sector should function and the areas where the private sector should function, these are not fixed. It may change. Okay, when time changes, this also may change, and the changes occurs and can be modified with the needs of time. Regulation of economic system to be taken care of by the state. Economic system should be regulated by the government. Distribution system. Along with these three economic systems, there emerge three distribution systems also. The capitalist economy distributed the goods and services through the market. State economy distributed them without the help of the market. And in the case of mixed economy, the distribution system was a hybrid of the state and the market. Certain goods and services people buy from the market, while some others are supplied by the state either free or at a subsidized price. Okay, coming back to the characteristics of mixed economy. Is this clear? These 5 points. Do you have any doubts in this point about the characteristics of features of mixed economy?
No, sir.
No. Okay, fine. Now, after having discussed about the different economic systems, like the what is that? The market economy or capitalist system, non-market economy or the socialist and the communist system, and the mixed economy, there are different distribution systems also. There are three distribution systems which are classified on the basis of the distributional activities done in the economy. The first one is the capitalist economy, where the goods are distributed through the market. Okay, and here the market means the market forces of demand and supply. It fixes the what is it quantity that has to be supplied and the quantity which will be demanded at a particular price. Okay, so the first one is the capitalist economy, where the goods and services are distributed through the market. The second one is the state economy, which distributed state economy means the socialist or communist economy, which distributed the goods without the help of the market. Okay, it is the government which decides who decides which goods are to be produced and supplied to the consumers. So there is no an agent called market or market forces of demand and supply is not there. The government supplies, the people will have to buy those goods which are supplied by the government. And in the case of mixed economy, the distribution system was a hybrid of the state and the market. We can see a combination or a blending of these two systems of distribution, like the state intervention will be there, as well as that's the free play of the market economy also. This we can see in our economy. We can buy goods from the open market. Okay, we can buy rice, wheat, etc. from the open market. Together with that, we can buy rice, wheat, etc. from the government regulated markets also. For example, Supply Co, ration shops, Maveli store, etc. are the examples of government regulated outlets. Okay, so we can buy goods either free or at subsidized price through the government regulated stores, and we can also buy goods from the private parties or private outlets paying a higher price for that commodity. So these are the different economic distribution systems also. Is that clear? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the next topic is about some consensus. Consensus means some conferences, decisions, discussions, etc. And the first among them is the Washington Consensus, which we will discuss in the next class. Now it is 1 o'clock. So I think we will wind up the class now, and we will discuss about that in the next class. Okay.
Okay, sir. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും doubts ഉണ്ടോ?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, Jovin Joseph.
Sir, you talked about 5 stages of growth by W. Rostow.
Yes.
Isn't it the same as the modernization theory by the same person?
What was that theory, modernization theory?
It talks about how an economy changes from agrarian to a modern economy. How the third world countries changes to developed nations, or underdeveloped countries
changes into a developed country.
Yes.
And there are 5 stages, like
yes.
What is that? Actually, I don't remember the first stage. I think
agrarian.
it is not agrarian. It is the there is a take-off stage and like something like that. So there are
something like a take-off, maturity.
Maturity, take-off, drive to maturity, take-off, and something like that. So there are 5 stages. I'll refer to and will come to that in the next class. Okay, come with that in the next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Actually, I don't remember the different 5 stages. There are some drive to maturity and take-off are there. There are 2 more stages. We'll see it in the next class. Any others? വേറെ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ?
Okay, doubts ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ thanks പറയാം.
For spending your valuable time on the topic economics, and we hope it will be useful in our future. And the class was very informative and efficient. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for the nice words.
Thank you, sir. Next class ഞാൻ inform ചെയ്യാം.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Afternoon session correct 3 മണിക്ക് തന്നെ start ചെയ്യൂട്ടോ. അപ്പം okay. എല്ലാവരും 3 മണിക്ക് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു സർ.
എനിക്കല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
അല്ല വേറെ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ.
ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു സർ. ഐ വിൽ കോൾ യു.
താങ്ക് യു.
ഓക്കെ.